For most superstars, their notoriety is set up during their lifetime, however for a few, that qualification is just conceded after death. That is absolutely valid for Dr. Li Wenliang, a Chinese ophthalmologist who worked at Wuhan Central Hospital in China. In December 2019, Wenliang started cautioning his associates about a potential flare-up of an infection that took after SARS. That ailment was later named COVID-19, making Dr. Wenliang the main doctor to raise the ready that the infection was going to cause issues. Dr. Wenliang basically turned into an informant where the infection was concerned, and he paid for it. On January 3, he was reprimanded by the Wuhan police for offering bogus remarks on the internet. He returned to work and later gotten the infection from a patient. Dr. Wenliang died on February 7 at 33 years old. He was after death excused and offered a grave conciliatory sentiment for the rebuke he got by the Communist Party of China. On the off chance that his associates had tuned into him, there likely wouldn't have been any names to put on this rundown. Daniel Azulay was a comic book craftsman and instructor who was notable and regarded all through Brazil. His work was exceptionally respected in the workmanship network, and he is most likely most popular for his kids' arrangement, Turma do Lam Lam. Azulay was conceived in Rio de Janeiro and brought up in Ipanema, an area situated in the southern pieces of the city. At 21 years old, he made a paper strip called Capintao Sipo, and only 5 years after the fact, he propelled Turma do Lam Lam. His work assisted with encouraging the kids experiencing childhood during the 1980s about environment, craftsmanship, plan, and numerous different subjects. He ventured to every part of the globe, showing his work and giving talks. He directed craftsmanship workshops with a huge number of kids and grown ups, and in 2009, he facilitated an attracting class online to help significantly more individuals gain proficiency with his specialty. Azulay passed on in his old neighborhood of Rio de Janeiro at 72 years old. He was hospitalized for about 14 days for leukemia treatment, and keeping in mind that he was tainted with COVID-19, which caused difficulties, taking his life. Italy is one of the hardest hit countries where COVID-19 is concerned, and it appears no one is protected from contamination. Lucia Bosè was an unmistakable entertainer in her local Italy, where she rose to acclaim during the time of Italian neorealism, which commenced during the 1950s. She initially worked in a pastry shop, however in 1947, she won the second release of the Miss Italia Excellence Challenge, which propelled her vocation as an entertainer. She featured in a few champion jobs through the mid-1950s, cresting in 1955 preceding reaching a conclusion. She began to look all starry-eyed at a Spanish matador during the recording of Muerta un Ciclista. She picked to surrender her vocation to raise a family. In the end, she came back to acting and featured various jobs with her latest work was in 2007. She is the mother of celebrated Spanish artist Miguel Bosè and was a very much regarded entertainer for a mind-blowing duration. On March 23, she died from pneumonia entangled by a COVID-19 contamination. She was 89 at the hour of her passing. Emmanuel Njoke Manu Dibango was a Cameroonian performer who was notable in the realm of jazz, as he was an unmistakable lyricist and saxophonist. Dibango's vocation spread over 6 decades, comprising of various hits, however he is likely most popular for his 1972 single Soul Makasa. That hit would later be examined by Michael Jackson, Kanye West, and a lot progressively conspicuous performers all around the globe. Dibango's profession started at 15 years old after he moved to Paris soon after World War II. He played saxophone and piano and immediately turned into a standard in the European jazz circuit. He turned into a global sensation with Soul Makasa, which was initially wanted to be a B-side to a song of devotion he wrote in festivity of Cameroon's achievement in facilitating the 1972 Africa Cup of Nations football competition. Updates on Dibango's ailment went ahead his Facebook page, which noted he was hospitalized with a contamination from COVID-19 on March 18. His Facebook page affirmed the next week that he died on March 24 from the infection at 86 years old. People may not quickly perceive the name Nashom Wooden, yet it's not on the grounds that he wasn't acclaimed, it's because of individuals being increasingly acquainted with his drag sovereign persona, Mona Foot. Wooden built up his drag persona in the late 1980s, and he acknowledged RuPaul as an early guide in his initial drag vocation. RuPaul helped him colossally by showing him how to apply cosmetics, which helped him land a job as Mona Foot in an off-Broadway creation called My Pet Homo. Curiously, he concocted the persona while functioning as a supervisor in a Manhattan men's garments office at Patricia Field's boutique. Wooden later showed up as Mona Foot in the film Flawless, where he additionally played out the melody of a similar name with the ones. Wooden eliminated his Mona Foot personality in his later life, and keeping in mind that he tested constructive for HIV, he had an imperceptible viral burden. That contamination didn't have all the earmarks of being the reason for his demise, as he passed on because of difficulties from COVID-19 in New York City on March 23. He was 50 at the hour of his passing. Princess María Teresa of Bourbon-Parma was a French-Spanish individual from the House of Bourbon-Parma, which is a cadet part of the Spanish royal family. She went through her time on Earth attempting to encourage social causes as a lobbyist, which earned her the epithet Red Princess. She was a monarchist, and she tragically holds the qualification of being the primary individual from an illustrious family beyond words. COVID-19. Conceived in 1933 in Paris, Princess María Teresa spent her childhood in different manners and non-public schools. She went to the Paris Sorbonne University, where she got a doctorate in Hispanic Studies. She followed this with another doctorate in political sociology from the Complutense University of Madrid. She was a lobbyist in the regions of ladies' privileges and other significant issues. On March 27, Princess María Teresa passed on at 86 years old from difficulties welcomed on by COVID-19. She was the main imperial to pass on from the malady, however she wasn't the just one contaminated, as Prince Charles struggled the sickness with just mellow manifestations. He stayed in self-confinement for a week and luckily endured. Terrence McNally was a conspicuous writer, screenwriter, and librettist, who was regularly portrayed as the minstrel of American theater. He was viewed as one of the best contemporary dramatists of the American theater, and he earned that qualification through 56 years of work in the field. He got the Pine for Tony Award for Best Play for 2 of his works, and the Tony Award for Best Book of a Musical for another 2. He likewise earned an Emmy, 2 Guggenheim Fellowships, and a few other auditorium grants all through his vocation. McNally's work spread over 6 decades, and they included Broadway plays, off-Broadway plays, films, and essentially everything without exception he could get his hands on. He is most likely most popular for Kiss of the Spider-Woman and Jazz, however he composed many plays, dramas, and theater pieces. His work is played far and wide, and his passing was a hit to everybody who cherishes the theater. On March 24, he died following complexities from COVID-19 out of a medical clinic in Florida. He was 81 at the hour of his passing. Despite the fact that she might not have been too known to individuals outside the universe of news, María Mercader was a main impetus in news and detailing for CBS, where she worked for over 3 decades. Mercader started her expert vocation in 1987 as a page at CBS. She moved from page obligation to the system's news program with CBS NewsPath, where he delivered different pieces circulated by means of CBS partner stations. She kept on creating through the passing of Princess Diana, 9/11, and a lot progressively critical occasions. Mercader won an Emmy Award for her work as a maker, and she climbed the positions at CBS to turn into the Director of Talent Strategy in 2016. Her work there broadened the working environment and assisted with encouraging greater contribution with different minority gatherings, including the Asian American Journalists Association and numerous others. For over 2 decades, Mercader battled malignant growth and different diseases, and when she went to a medical clinic in New York City for treatment, she surrendered to COVID-19 at that area and died on March 29 at 54 years old. Fanatics of the hit arrangement Top Chef are in grieving after the passing of observed Indian-American chef Floyd Cardoz. The skilled culinary expert was the victor of Top Chef Masters in 2011 and was notable for his numerous pioneering raids in the realm of gourmet food. Notwithstanding his time before the cameras for Top Chef Masters, Cardoz was the official gourmet expert at New York City's Bowla and Tabla diners. He had some expertise in the merging of Indian flavors and flavors with Western cooking of different types. Cardoz likewise held the respect of being a 4-time James Beard Award-chosen one, and he was additionally the writer of 2 cookbooks. Cardoz ventured out from Mumbai to New York through Frankfurt toward the beginning of March. He before long became sick and tried positive for COVID-19. He kicked the bucket from complexities of the infection on March 25 at an emergency clinic in New Jersey. Cardoz was 59 years of age at the hour of his demise. He abandons his significant other/business director, Barca, and their 2 children, Justin and Peter. In case you're an aficionado of down-home music, chances are the updates on Joe Diffie's passing hit you especially hard. Diffie was a practiced bluegrass music artist who discharged a huge amount of hit singles throughout the years. From 1990 to 2004, Diffie discharged 35 singles included on the Billboard Hot Country Song Graph. 5 of those singles rose to number 1, including Home, If the Devil Danced, In Empty Pockets, Third Rock from the Sun, Pick Up Man, and Greater Than the Beatles. He discharged 7 studio collections, a Christmas collection, and a Greatest Hits collection. Diffie declared through his marketing specialist that he tried positive for COVID-19 on March 27. He stayed in basic condition from the ailment for 2 days, and he kicked the bucket on March 29 at 61 years old. He died in Nashville, Tennessee, which is a city profoundly established in the down-home music scene. Diffie is the primary down-home music star to surrender to the sickness, and his passing was noted by his friends with genuine posts on Twitter, Instagram, and other internet-based life stages. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.